is Owen Abbas saying from behind the gloves, and I'm here with David Haye. David, we've just finished the press conference of your announcement for your next fight against Arnold The Cobra Gjerjaj. I think I pronounced it right.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even tried to learn what his second name is.
One of the highlights of that press conference was Mr. Shannon Briggs come and gate crash that.
Which has nothing to do with his next fight, but okay, yeah. Good.
But I just wanted to ask you, was there any negotiations with his team before Shannon Briggs?
No negotiations with Shannon Briggs prior to this fight. My stipulations for this next opponent that I gave to my team was I want someone taller than me, I want someone with an unbeaten record, and I want someone who's in their prime, and he ticked all those boxes. Obviously this fight isn't on pay-per-view platform, it's not on a big satellite network, so I don't even have any TV yet for this fight, so it's a non-TV show, so the budget isn't really there to get some of these big massive names over, because they all want a big cash out paycheck, and that's not there for him at the moment. And he ticked all the boxes. He's taller than me, unbeaten record in his prime. He's looks the part. So I'm looking forward to an exciting fight. A few of the people who was at Haye Day 1 and watched it on TV would have liked to have seen a little bit more action. The first time I landed a big combination, the fight was effectively over. So people want to see a bit more drama. They want to see, someone punching back a little bit more. And this guy is definitely going to do that. He's not coming to lie down. If you know what this guy took to come over here, you'll know that he's coming over because he believes he can win, and then he's going to go on, and then it's an investment in himself. He's rolling the dice. If he beats me, he can then go and fight any of the world champions and earn mega money. But he's willing to come over here for not pay-per-view money to prove a point. And whenever he gets an unbeaten fighter willing to do that, he's confident.
The fact that he's relatively unknown on these shows, does that make him so unpredictable of what
I don't know what he's going to do. All I know is the brief we got from him is he's got fast hands, he moves his feet, he doesn't stand there like your typical Eastern European fighter with your hands up just taking punches. He's actually got quite low held hands, he moves around, and he's quite awkward apparently. So I haven't seen much of him. I've leave that to Shane McGuigan, my coach, to look into his style and the best way to break him down. But Shane and I are training for a tough 10-round fight. We're looking for training to do 10 hard rounds. If he gets knocked out earlier, all good and well. But I'm just training for a tough fight. To expect any less would be foolish. So I'm looking at pushing myself and being in great condition to get the best out of myself.
David Razaban for Fight Hype. You've obviously had Haye Day 1, we're now Haye Day 2 in May, so two fights in 5 months. Hoping you come out of this fight successfully. Do you expect to fight a couple more times this year?
Ideally, in an ideal world, I don't want to look too far into the future, but looking at a potential schedule, I'd love that. I'd love to fight 2 more times this year. There's been many years since I've had 4 fights in 1 year. Normally, if you look at my record, fighting once a year would have been a good schedule for myself. But to fight 4 times a year, to even fight twice in a year is a big thing. If you look back at my record and how infrequently I fought, I'm definitely going in the right direction. So after this fight, hopefully, fingers crossed, I get the victory. I'm not injured, no cuts, no broken hands. I'm then going to look to get back in there as soon as possible again.
I know one eye next week will be on the big IBF.
Both eyes will be on that. It's a huge fight. Anthony Joshua is looked unbeatable. He's 15 fights, 15 wins. He's a big guy. He's in physically perfect condition, and I'm really backing him to beat Charles Martin. Charles Martin's a very good fighter in his own right, untested, unproven. No real amateur credentials to pick from. But the word around the campfire, the word from my friends over in the States is this guy ain't no joke. This guy can fight. People whose opinion that I trust are saying, listen, this guy ain't coming over to get knocked out by any Joshua. Believe me, this guy's a serious dude. He's done time in prison. He's a serious dude. This guy's not to be taken lightly. So, with that being said, we might have an interesting fight on our hands. This is not some guy coming over to cash out against Anthony Joshua and hand over his IBF title. This guy will fight to the bitter end, and if that's the case, we've got ourselves a great fight on Sky box office on April 9th.
Another final quick question from me, David. Andre Ward fought on the weekend against Barrera, and he won that quite comfortably. He's currently fighting at light heavyweight. Obviously, he's trying to set up that big clash with Kovalev in the future. He mentioned during post-fight that he would love to fight at heavyweight, and it's something that he would consider doing. What are your thoughts on Andre Ward going up to heavyweight in the possibly next 12 to 18 months?
Well, if he can beat someone like Kovalev, then there's no one else to beat in that cruiserweight division. Roy Jones Jr. moved up from a middleweight to beat John Ruiz for the WBA heavyweight title. So it's been done before, and I believe his skill set's second to none. I think he's you just got to watch him fight. Even in that fight, his last fight on Saturday, he looked fantastic. You would never have thought that wasn't his natural weight. He looked big at the weight. He looked conditioned. He's a very well-educated fighter, and he's probably pound for pound the best fighter in the world. So if anybody can transcend the weights, I think Andre Ward can. He's ticked all the boxes. Beat Carl Froch, our very own Carl Froch. He seems to find a way to win. In a similar way to how Roy Jones once did when he was in his prime and in his peak, and to move up, he skipped cruiserweight. So he could probably do the same thing. Roy Jones was a long time light heavyweight champion, skipped cruiserweight, went straight up there and fought John Ruiz and won the title. His downfall was obviously coming back down in weight. So if Andre Ward can pick and choose, he can pick a heavyweight champion. It'd be hard to. You've got to give him a shot. You've got to give him a shot against any heavyweight, no matter how big they are. Because he's if you're pound for pound, it means a pound of you would beat a pound of anybody else. And I think just looking at his performances, they might not be Golovkin style knockouts every time, but he doesn't take unnecessary punches. He's very, very economical with his punch output. He does what he needs to do to win in the most efficient way at every stage. And for me, looking in as a fellow boxer and as someone who who's a student of the game, you have to look at his style and think, this guy's a very intelligent fighter who can do pretty much whatever he wants to do. So if he wants to move to heavyweight, you can't write him off against anybody.
David, thanks for talking about that.
Supplementation is the rage. The key is which product really works. Some supplements have ingredients that are just fillers, not life-change tea. For instance, our D365 Detox Pill is all natural, no fillers, and packs you a punch. This powerful pill will build your immune system, detoxify your body, and give you more energy. We also carry Colostrum LD pills, which give athletes an edge. 20% more lean muscle strength, stamina, and performance. And by the way, it's clinically proven. Get detoxed, get strong at